Welcome to a new episode of Bahrain Today. I'm Shog Mohammed.
And I'm Mohammed Al-Awali. Today we'll talk about a major disease, diabetes. Statistics show that millions of people suffer from this disease. But before we start,
we have brought to you a very important event that happened in Bahrain, the visit of His Royal Highness Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, and Her Royal Highness Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. Let's have a look at the special reports.
Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander, and First Deputy Prime Minister, and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales and Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall conducted a tour through the Manama Souk, which included a visit to Bahrain's 2 centuries-old Hindu temple. The delegation witnessed musical performance and visited handcraft stalls during the tour of the Manama Souk area. The Crown Prince concluded by highlighting that the deep-rooted ties between Bahrain and the UK continue to be underpinned by a commitment to promoting these shared ideals, which has been working alongside the government for over a decade to protect and promote migrant workers' rights, and to ensure that migrant workers benefit from the significant protection that the government has put in place to ensure international standards are met. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received in the presence of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander, and the First Deputy Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Charles the Prince of Wales, and his spouse, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall, at the Al Safriya Palace. Majesty the King, His Royal Highness Prince Charles, and Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall attended a show of authentic Bahraini and Arabian horses known for their distinctive characteristics and quality. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales and his spouse were briefed on the characteristics of these horses and the efforts being exerted to take care of them and preserve their breed. His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales exchanged talks about the horse race in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom, stressing the importance of promoting such an authentic sport locally and across the world. Visited St. Christopher's School, Isa Cultural Center, Grand Al Fatih Mosque, and Tubli Bay Project, while the Duchess of Cornwall visited the Bahrain National Theatre. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales also attended the British Council Committee Empowerment Roundtable and the Remembrance Day service. Highness Prime Minister Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa has lauded the solid, long-standing relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom, which the two kingdoms are celebrating their 200th anniversary. His Royal Highness Prime stressed that the Bahrain-UK cooperation is growing steadily and strengthens the friendship ties between the two nations, noting that more rapprochement between the two countries is required in the midst of the unstable situation in the world, emphasizing the two countries' constant keens on blustering cooperation between them for the best interest of their friendly people.
Welcome back. And today we're going to talk with Dr. Faisal Al-Mahrous, who is a consultant in diabetes disease. How about many people in Bahrain have diabetes, and how he and his team are going to work and to control it. Welcome, Dr. Faisal.
Thank you very
I
much.
hope you're doing good today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
No, of course,
here
of
to be
course.
with you and
We are pleasure to have you in our show.
Yes, this
Dr.
is a very serious issue in the Kingdom of Bahrain and all
Thank
of the
you.
Gulf actually, and we think it's important to have you here to discuss this.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we can explore the field about diabetes internationally and in Bahrain as well. As you know, diabetes, it's a syndrome. It's not a disease by itself, so it's a multi-diseases in one title.
Many comorbidities.
That's right. So it needs a hard work, you know, to manage it. So if we come to the problem by itself, to define it, that the sugar in the blood, it's normally available in every human being or even animals, but when it is presence or you know availability of the sugar in the urine, they call it diabetes. That's why they call it diabetes mellitus,
Yes.
which is they call it the sugar in the siphon. So that this is the Latin definition of the disease. Regarding the some people, they are interested to know what's going on about the statistics. The latest statistics, all the globe, all around the world, about 400 millions
Wow.
diabetics
That's a very big
available
number.
all around the world,
Yeah.
and this is the underestimation because
Not all cases are reported.
because
definitely.
some you know cases neglected in some countries or poor countries,
Unfortunately.
no epidemiology or following statistics
Exists.
to be reported. If we comes to Bahrain, for instance, or the Arab world, since about 20 years ago, no enough data available, you know, for us in the region.
20 years of data.
Yeah, so since about 14 years ago, I did a survey with the team when I've been working with the Ministry of Health, funded by Ministry of Health that time also, and we were expecting that the percentage of diabetics, we were expecting about 5 to 10%.
Of the Bahraini population.
Yeah, the Bahrainis, whom they are having a Bahraini passport. After the survey, it was amazing. We found about 30%
Wow, that's like
of
triple.
the population
Wow.
are having
It's
diabetes.
a very big number,
It's a
Doctor.
big number.
And I would think that's not just a very big number, it's a very big number to handle
That's
for
right.
doctors here in Bahrain and for very few consultants in diabetes.
Certainly,
That's
I agree with you,
A
Mohammed.
big load of people.
Yes. And at that time, that is for the total population. We found the females were more than the males.
Okay.
You know, yeah. It's known that the females, they are protected by their menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle protect the female not to have these metabolic syndrome. But
What are the causes then
but
for them to be?
that's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of factors also we found associated with that, because then the question raised up why this number, you know,
It's so high.
extraordinary. if we can classify ourselves among the globe internationally, we found that the highest of diabetics they are among the Pima Indians, whom they are the Native Americans.
Yes.
And we found also similar, rates in Naro in the Pacific Ocean, because these people they marry from each other's.
Consanguinity happens.
Consanguinity.
And type 2 diabetes is
That's
very
right.
much associated with genetics.
This is what we are aiming for about the type 2. We found this factor available also in Bahrain. We found some tribes and families, we call them, family of diabetes. Okay, at that time. As well as some other, associated factors. We found that even the technology it has a role, availability, the number of cars. Those families are having more cars, having more, diabetes.
Wow, maybe because of the lack of
Because
exercise?
lack of
and
exercise.
obesity.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So the lack of exercise, the laziness, as well as even existence of housemaid. The number of housemaid, it has associated factor also,
with the rate of
because
diabetes.
because
I've done studies and surveys about
That's
it
very
was a big,
surprising
huge
to me.
study, and we published that. Even if anyone who's interested, he can search in the internet.
It's published
About
in
we published in Diabetes Care, which is the well-referred journal around the world. I published my partner, Dr. Al-Rumi, Khaldun Rumi. He was, participated with me. We were having that time Professor Aisha Mutala. She was with us in Arabian Gulf University, and she helped and participated a lot with us in the survey.
So, doctor, tell us the importance of having awareness for a disease as serious as diabetes.
Especially in the Gulf, where, like you said, everyone has cars, everyone has more than one housemaid.
Sure, very
Oh, not
important
everyone,
question.
but a lot of
And the
people.
food is
The
not
food,
that healthy
yes,
as well.
the food definitely.
Very important question you are raising, which is the awareness. So awareness, it has the 50% of success of management of diabetes. That's why when I get a patient in my clinic, I used to advise him about how to eat, how to do exercise, but I tell him also, be aware and read more, follow any news in the newspaper, go to the Google, go to the net, search, because the more he is aware, the more he will be protected.
He would
That's
be
right.
afraid for himself.
Definitely.
For instance, we did a study also about foot problem and foot ulcer. Then we were having a question of anybody, how many times you have been told to wear a shoes while you are getting outside of your house. He said from primary care physician or any physician anywhere. He said one time or never. But it should be all physicians, and this is what I'm advising all my medical team, whether nurse or primary care physician, surgeon. When you get diabetic, advise him, are you wearing shoes? He should not wear a slipper. So this is part of awareness. If he is aware, not only to wear the shoes, he should check his shoes
The soles
clean
of the
or
shoes.
not.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
whether it has a small pieces of, for instance, stone is there. Okay, this is stone, he will press on it, but he's not feeling.
He's not feeling because he has loss of sensation,
Yes.
neuropathy.
Right. So neuropathy is there,
Yeah.
the sensation is less. Then,
He doesn't feel.
this stone, it will pierce his foot, and then it will go as a foreign body.
Yes.
It will start
Infection.
infected, and then it will be big problem, big ulcer, and maybe gangrenous.
Gangrene,
Then he will go
definitely.
for amputation. So this is how important your question you
From
raised
something so
about
simple.
awareness.
Something so small. So,
That's right.
Can
doctor,
turn into you losing body parts.
and doctor, sorry for asking,
Yes.
for interrupting you,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it is very important to know the compliance of the patient
Yeah.
for the medications
That's
and
right.
for
The treatments.
to the treatment. From your expertise with the patients, how well are they complying?
Well, you know, some they are compliant, but some I tell you 50% of patients are not compliant.
Okay.
50%.
50%.
And would you say these are of all ages, or?
Well, particularly those newly discovered or newly
Really?
diagnosed, yeah.
Okay, that's very
which they are
surprising.
young, you know, or middle age.
And they're not compliant.
Yeah, they are not compliant because they are not suffering sometimes.
Okay.
Or they are not, complaining of, or they are having symptoms.
That's a big problem, I think, in the medical field. When people have a problem in their organs or inside, they don't fear it.
Or they don't see
Yeah, they don't
anything.
see it. But like a dermatology case in the skin, they would straightly freak out and go
They'll
to the
be scared,
dermatologist.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they will, they will follow that.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes I'm getting one patient, his sugar is about 500 mg. Yeah, and he's telling, I do not feel anything. I'm not urinating. I'm not having headache or whatever.
If he doesn't have the symptoms,
Yeah,
he doesn't
that's why.
treat himself.
And also, when we tell them, for instance, are you checking yourself? The daily monitor.
The pricking, yes.
The pricking. And now also the technology has been,
Very advanced,
more.
definitely.
Some machines will come by touch. It is available.
It's
I have
making
seen
things
it.
much easier
Yeah,
for these
by touch
patients.
only. This so many companies, iPhone, or I heard in America they will do
And
it
also
by
the
touch.
stickers for the insulin shots,
And
right?
the sticker of the insulin is coming also. So we tell people, get the machine, and check yourself, especially before you go to sleep.
I think it's an investment for these people.
Yeah.
And particularly before you sleep, while you are, taking injection, to check whether the sugar is low or not. Because some of them sometimes they are not feeling that the sugar is low. Because with the time, because of neuropathy, they will not feel that whether the sugar is low or not.
Yes.
So this is part of the awareness. And so many things, not only it's in a cleaning, trimming the
Fingernails.
nails for the foot. We should, ask somebody to help the patient to come and even to smell the foot, whether there is a fungal infection or not. Okay? If there is, abnormal color in that, this is part of awareness. The food, how they follow the food. For instance, some of people, we ask them, are you drinking juices? They are telling, yes, I'm drinking juices,
And
but
they're not.
no sugar.
Okay, then.
Because, I mean, in their mind, when they go to the even supermarket, it's written, محلى or خالي من السكر, or,
So
no
sugar-free.
sugar added.
Sugar-free.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they are not writing sugar, they are writing no added sugar.
No added
Yes.
sugar.
So,
Which means there's already
what
pre-existing
about
sugar.
The original sugar
Yes.
from the fruit itself,
Yeah.
or from the orange,
Okay, that's such a great point,
So
doctor.
so when they abuse this, the sugar always high.
Definitely.
So once they comply with the instruction, don't go for juices, sugar will come better. Then he will feel better. So this is part of awareness. So education and awareness of patient, as I said, it's more even than 50% of successing and successful way
Of treating
to
a patient.
treat and to control.
And doctor, as you already mentioned, awareness is very important. And there are certain preventive measures
Yeah.
for a disease like diabetes. Can you mention to us these preventive measures or points that the
But
patients
before
should
that,
aware?
doctor, I think because there are so many different types of diabetes, you can't just prevent
course,
any
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
diabetes.
yeah.
So for the people watching at home who don't have the knowledge that you have or haven't seen what you have, can you just quickly explain the types of diabetes and what people are more likely to get in the Kingdom of Bahrain?
Type diabetes, actually, they classified them for 4 major parts or parts. They call it type 1. We are having type 1, type 2, type 3, or type 4. How they come? The type 1, it's common among children or early age until even you can go for the 70 years old.
Okay.
They might have to have type 1. Then type 2 is commonly start in the middle age, which is
Adolescence.
30 and above, but very common to find it among Arabs now, type 2 among children. So many I have seen.
Because
Type
of early
3,
obesity, is that, doctor? Or-
it's genetics.
Genetics. I
Yeah,
think it's
not
because of
necessarily,
intermarriage usually.
obesity.
Yeah.
I'm going to highlight on that again. Type 3, which is the gestational diabetes, which is among women,
Pregnant
Well,
women.
pregnant.
the pregnant when they get conceived. Once they deliver, the diabetes will disappear. But when she repeated 1 or 2, 3 times, she will have type 2
Wow.
at the end. Yeah. And type 4 or classification 4, which is they call it endocrinal parts.
Okay.
From other endocrine, these are rare, not common. It comes or from medication or from complication of other things.
Other things.
But the most common availability is the type 2, whom they are 90% of the total,
Yes.
and 10% among type 1. What's the difference between type 1 and type 2? Type 1, they are deficient in insulin. Type 2, they are deficient or sometimes they are having hyper, insulinemia. So you
Resistance. to the
resistance
insulin.
and it's inefficient insulin. So that's why sugar will raise up. And as I said, the gestational comes because of the somatotropin, this hormone of the placenta. It's raised the sugar, and that is not common, but common in
possible.
It happens to pregnant
Yeah.
women. Yeah.
If we comes for your good question you raised also
Preventive
about
measures,
the prevention, which is so important of that, particularly among people whom they are coming from families common in diabetes. For instance, if I'm seeing my dad or my father, he's diabetic. My mom, she's diabetic. Okay, my auntie. So I should be aware to check my sugar several times. If I'm not doing exercise, I should do exercise before I have the diabetes.
Right.
This is part of prevention because my parents are diabetics,
So I'm
I should
susceptible.
not have that. Yeah. Exercise important. Watching the weight. If somebody who's overweight, then he should reduce his weight. I mean, or do some exercises as well. We found that in our survey, in our study, that those people whom underweight, 20% of Bahrain, of population of Bahrain having diabetes, underweight.
Underweight.
Type 2, I'm telling about it.
Okay.
Because of genetics.
Genetics,
Yeah.
they can't help
See,
it.
yeah, so I can't blame 100% the obesity.
On
Right.
obesity.
Because sometimes somebody who coming from a family or from family free of diabetes, whatever he is overweight, he will not have. Maybe he will have hypertension, he will have hypercholesterolemia, he will have hyperlipids,
But not type 2
not
diabetes.
So gene is so important. So if gene is there, we should work on the prevention. Let's go again for prevention. For instance, people now with the technology, everything they are using remote control.
Yes.
Of course.
For TV, opening the garage, the gate of the garage. So do exercise, try to move.
Have an active lifestyle.
Yeah, not to depend on the technology. Now, and I mean, my patients and their relatives, they are telling me the secrets because daughters come to speak secrets about their mom. I'm telling her, try to move, you go, don't depend on the housemaid. The daughter telling me,
Yeah.
you don't know what she is doing. She's sleeping and keeping the light on, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's calling her housemaid.
To turn
"Please
off the
come and-"
lights. Wow.
She's
Bring the
not-
remote control,
That's
close the
a
lights,
horrible
do
habit.
this.
So
and that.
because of this, we are reducing the activity, then diabetes will be more. So this is part of the prevention. Food is so important. What
Sugar
we are
intake.
eating, sugar, carbohydrates. Some people they are abusing in the carbohydrates.
Definitely.
So our sugar food should be comprehensive in all gradients, and then we have to watch what's getting us more weight. Carbohydrates abusing, the fat availability in the
Sugar.
food also, and sugar as well. So all of these factors, if we control them, if we review, if we sit with dietitian or take advice from even diabetologists or primary care physician whom they are specializing in diabetes, they will guide you, they will help you in that. Reading about this Now you go for and the YouTube also, you'll get so many clips.
So many things of
Yeah.
YouTube.
So-
You can learn so much from YouTube. They
Very
illustrate you
informative.
to so many
I agree
things.
totally.
Yeah.
So prevention better than cure.
Of course.
Definitely.
If
In any
you-
case.
And in any case, in any disease.
And it doesn't cost you money, Muhammad.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it will not cost you much money. But if you have the disease, it will cost you more. So better to start having the disease. You go for the simple thing, which is walking. I'm telling people, go walking. Walking, you can start anytime,
Any
free.
time of day, and it's free, and you
Yeah.
can do it.
That's
And the
right.
weather is getting really nice.
And
Well,
the weather
lovely
is
now.
nice
So you have no
now.
excuse.
And also, I really appreciate the government here in Bahrain. Alhamdulillah, they are doing so many trucks now.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
I've noticed
In
that.
different areas.
Trying
It
to
only
promote
started
healthy
like
lifestyle.
10 years ago, 12 years ago, but now you see so many of them everywhere in
In
Bahrain.
every part of Bahrain,
So
definitely.
this is part of prevention also. I don't know which points I can speak about it also, but the prevention is better than cure.
Definitely, I agree with you, Doctor. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
We really appreciate it, Doctor.
And
You
you've
gave us
raised
so many wise words, and I hope the audience would really.
Many important
pleasure,
points.
and we are here to pass our message to the people, hopefully to see them healthy and wealthy.
Hopefully.
We don't want to see people in the clinics. We
Of
want to see
course.
them in the culture, active, serving the others.
Yes.
So it's my pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invitation.
No,
We
thank you so
appreciate
much,
it. The pleasure's
Doctor.
all mine, Doctor. Let's have a look at this clip from the Gulf Union Conference.
The unity for the Gulf, it is very helpful for the Bahraini, especially in the economy and in the military and social, so many things. We already, Bahrain and all the Gulf countries, we have a social. We keep visiting, we keep going and attending conferences, courses, whatever. I am a retired person. I keep now traveling to the GCC country from Kuwait to Oman. I mean Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and Oman also. We keep also make communication with the other countries, not only in the Gulf. We have contact with the social media. We have also what you call this organization, non-government organization. We keep contact human rights and labor's union. I was working in the petroleum company, Bahrain Petroleum Company, BAPCO, and I was in the union. We also work in this sector to create new unions, new federal unions, and we were keep attending courses in United Nations or conference or whatever, and we have to be union. We have to be unity. We are the smallest country in the Gulf, and most of the people of Bahrain, they want unity, and all the GCCs also. It is to protect ourselves as a security or defense, and health and economy. The economy is the first things. Once you make unity in the economy, the Gulf will be very strong. So already we are strong, but it will help a lot of people. Keep working people, finding jobs in the Gulf. And many Bahraini, they work outside, and this is it. And most of the Bahraini, they accept this, and they will keep calling us and where to go, and we need to sign, and there is a lot of calls I have got because people knows that I am in the national gathering committee.
GCC conference aimed to convey the collective opinion of the Gulf citizen at this time, specifically to the GCC leader who will be meeting in Bahrain next month by stressing an important objectives. First of all, it's to promote the idea of federation of the GCC country in various aspects. Secondly is mobilizing GCC nation and community leaders to emphasize the Gulf Union in all aspects: security, military, political, economical, and even the social field. It's also aimed to raising the importance to meet the current security challenge and strengthening the alliances to maintain stability in the region.
Today we are having this important conference which is targeted for the people of GCC. The objective of the conference is to create a momentum and create a momentum for an awareness for the people of GCC that unity is important. It's the time to unite, become a strong nation. During this conference, we're going to cover lots of. We have the theme of it, of course, is the GCC, the history, and some practices and some similar examples like Malaysian unity, like UAE unity, and other countries. In addition to the political side and economical side of the unity, and what this unity will bring to the people of GCC. In fact, all the GCC countries are represented here. We have a speaker from Kuwait. We have speakers from Saudi Arabia. We have also we have representative from Qatar, Oman, and also a big delegation came from Riyadh, which is the GCC Secretariat center there.
Hiba interviewed a very creative photographer. Let's go and have a look. Walking into the clinic/gallery, meeting John. How are you, John?
Hi, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Tell me a little bit about these beautiful photographs.
The exhibition is entitled Vanishing Bahrain and Other Images. Basically, the main theme is to try and capture some of the disappearing cultural heritage of Bahrain, particularly architecture, which is one of my interests.
Well, I mean, I can see that you're taking different angles, different, even the textures of everything are there in the picture. How did you get that?
When I see the image in my mind, when I'm looking at the composition in front of me, I kind of have an idea of what the image is going to come out like. And for every one of these that you see here, there's maybe 50 to 100 shots that don't make it. But it's a process of, first of all, looking at the place in different angles of light and different times of day, and then capturing the image, and then working with the image to get it exposed the right way, developed the right way. But even then, beyond that, for the printing process as well, particularly for this exhibition, which is the first time I've really printed this stuff. The different kinds of paper, the different printing techniques, yeah, it all comes together. It takes a lot of work.
Did you learn all these things, or it just automatically you created it?
This is really the first exhibition I've ever had. So when the clinic invited me to exhibit, it was about 4 or 5 months away from the date, and I thought I had plenty of time, but actually it took a lot of work. I had to learn all about printing, different kinds of paper, and how to develop my images so that they would actually print correctly, because that was tricky to learn. But I learned a lot, and now I can do it a lot faster than I did before.
You don't only do it in Bahrain, you do it around the world, is that correct?
Well, I love traveling, so wherever I travel, I take photos. Obviously, for the Bahraini audience, I chose aspects of Bahrain that I've captured. Muharraq is an area that I love, particularly the restored areas, because I feel that the government and other sponsors have put so much work into restoring some of the beautiful buildings there. It really gives you a kind of atmosphere of what it was like, and I love that. I love the way that the streets and the buildings kind of, in the middle of crowded and noisy Muharraq, you still have this peace and calm in those restored areas. So I spent a lot of time there, and most of the images that I've got are from that area. I do find that the forms of traditional Arabian architecture really inspiring, simple, straightforward forms, but also a lot of detail and a lot of natural handiwork and craftsmanship in the forms.
Your interest wasn't only architecture. I mean, I can see that you have a different concept of your pictures. So what's behind the story behind all these pictures?
Basically, I'm looking, wherever I travel, I'm just looking for unique images to capture. And the image we've got here is, I was traveling in a very remote part of Georgia, just south of Russia, and driving on a very remote mountain road, and then I saw in the distance thousands and thousands of goats and sheep coming down the road. There was no way to drive, so stopped the car and had to wait for them to come. Now, the goats were amazing, they looked beautiful, and so I stood in the middle of the road and knelt down to take their picture, and as they saw me, they stopped, and at that moment I took the photo, yeah. And if they had been moving, because the light was behind them, I had to kind of underexpose them to allow for the light. And if they hadn't stopped, it probably would have been blurred, but they stopped. And that was the moment when I got the image. So it was just one of those beautiful moments.
When you had the knowledge that you're going to have an exhibition here, did you choose a specific pictures? Did you think about a specific theme, or you just randomly, let's say, chose?
No, there was very definitely, I think that was one of the challenging things, as my work is kind of quite eclectic, quite mixed. I don't have one theme that I focus on. So it kind of forced me to look at my work and say, well, is there a theme here? What am I doing? And yeah, something emerged, and it was almost retrospective. I didn't set out at the beginning to say, right, this is going to be my exhibition. But when I had the opportunity, I looked at my work and thought, well, what are the themes that are running through here? And so, of course, again, for a Bahraini audience, I wanted to capture, some iconic images like the Sheikh Isa bin Ali house here, and present those in ways that, I've taken many pictures of this building, but this is one of my favorites. So, yeah, definitely having the exhibition challenged me to do that.
That was a very nice report from Hiba.
It definitely was. And now we've reached the end of our show. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned with us for more. And don't forget to follow us on our email address and Instagram accounts.